When I read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I think is a great work of philosophy, that sort of highlighted the point that very often the issue is understanding what questions to ask. And if you can properly frame the question, then the answer is the easy part. We've got to try to create an electric car company. But it wasn't as though in creating these companies that we thought that we would be successful. I thought that the most likely outcome was failure. But it was still worth doing, even though the odds of success were low. In fact, even for SpaceX, originally what I started doing was not creating a rocket company, but actually was going to do a small mission to Mars, which was just a philanthropic mission where you would send a small greenhouse with seeds and dehydrated gel, and upon landing, hydrate the gel, and you'd have this cool picture of green plants on a red background. And the public tends to respond to precedents and superlatives. So this would be the first life on Mars, furthest that life's ever traveled, and you'd have this great money shot of green plants on a red background. So yeah, I thought that would get people's attention. But the expectation for that was no return. So I thought we wouldn't get spend the money on that and it wouldn't happen.
In order to be greatly successful, you always have to picture and imagine your plan for success. You want to write it down, look at it, read it every day, and make sure you are visualizing your plan so that you can rise to as high as you possibly are capable of to achieve your wildest dreams. You're going to want to work so hard that you're not even going to realize how successful you are until you've reached the top. You want to realize at the very end that you've made it. You don't want to realize that you're doing great along the way, because then you'll get complacent. And you want to be focused and driven the entire way to always be going for the top. You want to give it your all every single moment, because you never know when it's going to be taken away, and you could have to start from rock bottom. So you're going to want to enjoy every single successful moment, yet still be focused on the big prize, and don't let that focus slip until you've reached the apex of success. And when you try to do something, you're going to want to go all in. You're not going to want to try to do something halfway. If you try to become successful, it's going to take everything you have. You're not going to want to just put 50% in the effort to achieving your dreams, because then you'll never reach them. You've got to put everything you have into reaching your dreams so that you can just keep on going. Put all your energy towards it. That way you can truly reach your dreams.
And there are many that I think there's like some entropic basis for this. Like, there are many more ways to fail than to succeed. So, you have to explore, particularly like for a rocket, there's like 1,000 ways a thing can fail and like one way it can work. So you could have a lot of rocket failures to explore all the ways in which it could fail. So, but I do think that one great thing about Silicon Valley is that failure is not a big stigma. So it's like, if you try hard and it doesn't work out, that's okay. Like, you can learn from that and do another company, and it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. That's really one of the great things about Silicon Valley. I think it's quite painful and difficult, and it feels terrible. But the company's sort of looking to rally them, and so I do. But I honestly feel super bad.
I think there's definitely a philanthropic element, and I think in general, people want to do the right thing and they want to do what's good. The issue we have right now is that the rules fundamentally favor the bad outcome. So when you're fighting for the good outcome and it's an uphill battle, it's just slower. So with respect to climate change, it's just critical that the government is the setter of rules. The government decides what rules companies will play by. And we currently have a system which massively incents bad behavior. So even if most people don't do the bad behavior, some people will still do the bad behavior. Yeah, money and prices are basically just an information mechanism. They tell you that money's mostly an information mechanism for labor allocation, and sort of tells companies what to do. So this is why it's so critical to actually be taken at a government level, because the government is the one, they're setting the rules of the game, and it's just crazy to have the rules of the game favor a bad outcome. Well, I think first of all I should say that I did not expect to be involved in all these things. So the 5 things that I thought about at the time in college, quite a long time ago, 25 years ago, making life multiplanetary, accelerating the transition to sustainable energy, the internet, broadly speaking, and then genetics and AI. I think I didn't expect to be involved in all of those things. I actually, at the time in college, I sort of thought helping with electrification of cars was how I would start out, and that's actually what I worked on as an intern, was advanced ultracapacitors to see if they would be a breakthrough relative to batteries for energy storage in cars. And then when I came out to go to Stanford, that's what I was going to be doing my grad studies on, was working on advanced energy storage technologies for electric cars. And then I put on hold to start an internet company in '95, because there does seem to be like a time for particular technologies when they're at a steep point in the inflection curve. And I didn't want to, do a PhD at Stanford and then it should all happen. And I wasn't entirely certain that the technology I'd be working on would actually succeed. You can get a, doctorate on many things that ultimately do not have practical bearing on the world. And I wanted to, I really was just trying to be useful. That's the optimization. It's like, what can I do that would actually be useful?
So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section down below.